Hey, what's up? Cecil Smith here with Bandana Running and the Nike Invincible 3, Invincible Run 3. Uh, well, we'll go ahead and get into some of the specs on the shoe first, what I think about the shoe. I've got about 35 miles in the shoe, so this is kind of first impression, plus impression after 35 miles. And at the end of the video, I'll get into what I think about Nike right now as a company. As a running shoe company, and where I think they're kind of headed and what their plan is. So first off, the Nike Invincible Run 3 is is an older shoe. It's been out for about a year now. I think the Invincible 4 is either out or getting ready to come out. And this is the best way I can describe it is it's a little different. If you're used to running shoes that are built a certain way, this one's built a little different, and it may throw people off from the jump if you're not used to the way the shoe's built, and you're probably not because it's got some different things in it. So let's just start out with the stats, with the specs of the shoe. It is it's got the ZoomX foam from Nike. So this is their top tier foam that they put in their Alpha Fly 3 is like the latest now. So that's the foam that they use in those shoes. So this is their top tier running foam. It's 10 ounces, so it's a little on the heavy side. That's mostly due to a real rubbery outsole. And the upper's also got some features on it that kind of add some heft to it. It's got a full tongue. It's got some padding on the inside. And the upper is it's got like a lacquer type finish on it. So it's on the heavier side. There's some things they could do if they wanted to reduce weight in this shoe, if they wanted to reduce it. It also has a lot of foam. It's got a 40 millimeter stack height on the back, so you can see it's pretty thick in the back. The front's 31, so it's got a 9 millimeter drop. The drop on it is a little unusual. We'll get into that when we go through some of the unusual features on the shoe, or at least the features that make it a little bit different from a running shoe standpoint. And according to the lab, where they broke it down, I think it was maybe Running Warehouse, one of the ones where they really do an in-depth cutaway look at this. Like if you're looking at those for reviews, like those are great to get all the stats and stuff from it and other runner perspectives. But I think they said it was a 9.6 drop. Now, if we want to talk about the things that make this shoe unique, one, I like the look of the shoe. The first time that I tried it, so my first impression of the shoe when I tried it on was, wow, the shoe's really bouncy. It's got a lot of energy return in the shoe. And I would say it reminds me most of like a Nova Blast, like an Asics Nova Blast, that ZoomX foam. This is the first shoe that I've ran in that had that foam in it, and it kind of has that pop to it, like real energetic, a lot of energy return. The unique things about this shoe are let's just start at the top, work our way down. Okay, the upper of the shoe is different. It has this kind of shiny, I say lacquered type finish. It's almost like they took polyurethane or something and put on the fly knit. It doesn't say specifically it's fly knit. One of the complaints I've seen from the Invincible Run 2s was they said it was a fly knit, and it's very restrictive as far as the upper goes. There's not a whole lot of give here. I have the Invincible Run or the Infinite Run 3s here that are fly knit, that they said was fly knit, and you can see the upper on this shoe has a lot more give in it, and all that does is it allows you to kind of sink down on the foot, to clamp down on the foot and still let the foot move, if it needs to. So it's a tight fit on the fly knit, where this shoe, if you wanted to get it tight, you've really got to lace it down. I would compare it to like a clamshell type fit, where once you pull the laces together, it kind of pulls these sides together and you get a nice firm lockdown. I have not tried to run this with a runner's knot per se. I've put it in the back loop, but I haven't needed that extra lockdown. And initially it feels weird. There's some reviews out there that says it feels loose on the top, and a lot of what that is the foam, where the foam is. The foam's a little bit lower. You have this top piece, which is real fabricy on top. It's not a sock type fit. It doesn't come close to the ankle, but the foam is a little bit deeper. Now it's not super deep, but where the foam comes around the ankle, it's a little bit lower. It's not right up underneath the little bone that sticks out on your foot. It's a little bit lower than that. It comes up almost, right off of the bottom of your foot and kind of clamps there. So you have to have this lockdown in order to have that foam kind of fit around the back. To me, the shoe's not going to slip off when you have it laced up tight. At least I haven't noticed that. Now, if I have the shoe just, laces undone, pulled a little bit tight, it gets really loose because this upper is so firm that it will just start wiggling away, and it doesn't have that tight, grippiness around the foot to kind of just stick around like a sock, like kind of a sock feel. It doesn't have that. So that's a kind of a unique feel about the shoe. Where this foam hits on your heel is a little unique and different. It's not bad. It's just different. It might take a little while to get used to. The other thing that is unique about this shoe, I talked about the drop being 9 millimeters. So really high heel stack, and 31 in the front is still also pretty high. Now the stability of the shoe is not bad. It actually has kind of a wide base on it, so you're not rolling in the shoe. Like the Nova Blast ones had a high stack height, narrow base, and it kind of felt like it would roll, in or out. This shoe has a tendency to feel like it's gonna roll to the inside. Now it does have a unique, this little plasticky thing going around the back, which in my opinion kind of helps for stability. It's not a guide rail per se, because it doesn't go all the way around. It just kind of cuts off in the mid foot, but it's very rigid. It's very hard. It also has something about Beaverton, Oregon on there, the location of Nike. So kind of a neat little Easter egg type thing if you look really closely at it. But I think that kind of helps add to the stability of the shoe. So it doesn't have a whole lot of give one way or the other. Because of the high stack height, there is some natural roll in it if you happen to land the wrong way. So I don't like doing activities that aren't running in the shoe. I did try to play pickleball in it once. I would not advise anything that's side to side. It felt so weird and awkward, and I was so afraid I was going to roll something. So I played, but it was not very aggressive at all. Anyway, so the other unique piece is that high heel drop in the shoe. I say high. Nine's not bad, but where it drops off is actually kind of unique. That 40 millimeter foam kind of rides to the middle of the shoe and then starts to taper towards the front. So it's a real late drop off. Now, I haven't looked at a lot of shoes of where that drop off is, but it is a noticeable feel that is different from other shoes. So it kind of peaks. I don't say peaks, but where that drop off starts is almost in the midfoot. So you kind of feel it in your arch where it's pushing up against your arch. Now, I don't know if that's a design feature or a design flaw of the shoe. It feels different. It is noticeable. I don't know if that helps or hurts with the energy return of the shoe. The energy return is very good. It's a very energetic shoe, from my opinion. One of the top ones that I've run in. But it's different. So that's kind of the thing. Like the upper is a little different. That firm feel of the upper, where the foam is in the ankle is a little different, and where that foam hits you is a little different. All in all, it's a good shoe. I like the shoe. I like to run in the shoe. The problem with the shoe is that when it came out, it was very expensive. So the list price on the shoe was $190. And this is the problem that I kind of have with Nike, is that they're almost pricing themselves out of the market. Because to me, this is nothing more than a daily trainer type shoe. That's what this shoe is. It's 10 ounces. It's a little heavy to be a racer. It has, good energy return. Are there things they could do to lighten the shoe? Sure. If they fix that foam a little bit, if they put the actual Flyknit on this upper, that may help reduce it. They could do some things with the tongue. It's a pretty thick tongue. I mean, it's not super thick, but there's some things they could do here to lighten this shoe up. One, take some of this outsole rubber off. Probably don't need all that. But to me, that's what's going to make this shoe last a little bit longer. You're going to be able to get the miles out of it. I have read some other reviews of the ZoomX foam. They say it starts to deaden out. It doesn't have a super long life, which is a little disappointing. I haven't had the ZoomX foam before. I was kind of hopeful that, this being the upper end foam of Nike, that it would last. Just for comparison, the Infinity Run 3s have the React foam in. I've had this shoe for over a year, and I don't run in it anymore. I ran it up till December until I got the Invincible Run 3s, but it's not a super energy return type foam, but it's kind of held up, and it's a comfortable shoe. Like I like the shoe, but this shoe originally was listed at $160, and it's nothing more than a daily trainer either. So where would you put this shoe as kind of a reasonable price? I'd say probably in that 140 range, which is where the shoe was, I think, sale marked down to when I first picked it up. And I looked at some other reviews of the shoe, and I was like, okay, 140, I will pull the trigger there. But when I went to go get it, I actually had somebody else pick it up for me. The price was actually marked wrong. So the shoe was less than $100, which is, a definite pickup for me. Now, how did a shoe that was listed at $190 get to below $100? Nike has had some problems. So let's get into what I'll call the Nike issue right now and where I think Nike is headed. So over the last, 3 years, 4 years, since 2021, the stock price of Nike peaked there. During the pandemic, they went to a direct-to-consumer model for their shoes. So they stopped sending them out to brick and mortar stores, to wholesalers, and they just wanted to do everything direct with the customers off of an app, which is, that's fine for a business model, but shoes they're a little bit different because I think people want to try different shoes on, see how they look with different outfits. A shoe, it's not a car, but it's kind of a big commitment because it's got to go with multiple things. It's got to serve multiple functions. It's kind of pricey, especially $190 shoe. Like, you want to try that on. You don't want to just order it off of a website, even if it has a good return deal. You want to kind of have that feel, especially where you can compare it to maybe other Nikes or other brands completely. With Nike removing themselves from the store, now you don't get that comparison. So when they did that, they had some wholesaling issue. Like, they weren't sending it to the wholesalers, so people couldn't compare the shoes. Nike was only sending them to their stores, and I think they lost out a little bit on the business there. On top of that, they also had supply chain issues because of the way they were doing it, and they were releasing shoes. Like, they were keeping up with the releases of the shoes, but the inventory coming behind it, or where you could get the inventory, was a little bit limited. It wasn't the best business model, especially for shoes. Now, I think Nike has started to correct that problem. They got a new CEO at the end of 2024 that I think he's saying the right things, at least, that they're going to return to the old brick and mortar, the wholesalers. They're going to get the shoes back out there. I do have one other issue with Nike, though. I mean, this is a good shoe. It's got their top tier technology as far as their foam's concerned. It does not have a plate in it at all. Now, it has this back support in it, but it's on the outside. So, the idea of the plate is the plate lays across the foam, and when that pressure comes down, it usually sits kind of high in the foam and compresses the foam evenly, and then that energy return comes back into the plate, and then the plate comes back into the foot. This shoe doesn't have that. It has this thing on the outside, this little U-shaped piece on the outside that can kind of compress. It'll get pulled in with the foot when it pulls it down, so you get a little bit of an extra push off. But is that technology worth $190 on a daily trainer? Probably not. So I think that's a little bit of a misstep from Nike. And I don't want to say the problem with Nike. I think it's great for manufacturers to have a lot of different shoes, a wide variety. But Nike has so many shoes that are, I would consider trainer type shoes. Saucony has like a couple of different levels, especially in their endorphins. They have the Shift, the Speed, and then the Elite or the Pro with the plate in it. Nike has a wide variety of shoes. They have the Pegasus, which is kind of like the base running model. You have this Infinity Run 3 with a different foam in it, the React foam in it. You have the Vomero out there now that has the ZoomX. They've also come out with a Pegasus, a Super Pegasus shoe. And then you have the Invincible runs on top of that as a new shoe. And I think with each shoe, they've tried to step up the price, saying it's kind of a different step up in quality. But the difference between this and a Pegasus, okay, maybe it's a different foam. And I think the Super Pegasus has the ZoomX foam in it. So is there much difference between this and that next level of Pegasus? I don't know. There's so many levels of Nike shoes, so many different running shoes. Yeah, you can find one you like. I don't particularly like the Pegasus because I really don't like the upper. It's kind of a tight feel, but a real loose toe box. This toe box is not, it's not super tight. It's not restrictive, but it's also not that loose where it feels like you're sliding around all over the place. And I just didn't like the feel of the Pegasus when I tried it on. Now, that might have been like a 38 or something. I think they're up to 41 now. So maybe it's a little bit different, but I just didn't like the feel of that shoe. This one doesn't feel bad, but the price is so far out there. And I don't know if it's just because they put all these other shoes in there and every one is a step up of $10. The Infinite Run 3s to me are, maybe a 130 or 140. This shoe is probably 140, should be in the 140 range. But Nike's had some issues with supply chain, and their inventory hasn't caught up with the release dates, at least in my opinion. So this shoe's been out for a year. You may still be able to get it because I think there's still some out there. Like I got this shoe late at the end of the last year, and it was one of the last ones that they had left at the store where I got it. But I've still seen some other ones online. So, I think this shoe's still available. It's less than $100 now, which is, it's worth a shot. Definitely was worth a shot for me. I liked it at the $140 price point, which I think is fair for a daily trainer, especially one that has this much outsole on it. Like, I think it's going to last. And even if it doesn't last, like, I think it'll be a decent walking around shoe. Like, I haven't had issues with the Nikes, with the quality. Like I said, I've had this shoe for over a year. It's held up pretty well, other than the foam, and it's React foam. So it's gotten a little bit soft, but it's, still a good shoe. I mean, if I wanted to run in it, I could still run in it. Outsole has held up, and this has about 250 miles of running on it, of activities. Plus, I wear it to walk around in, most of the time. Now, I've tried to limit my walking around in this shoe, but, it's not bad. It's still a comfortable shoe. So, I look to get my use out of this shoe, especially. So I think the durability is going to be there, even if it's not there for running. But it is a shoe that you can take it up in speed if you want to. You could probably run thresholds in it. I don't think it's going to be a racer, though. It's in that daily trainer category for me, honestly. But it is a good, outdoor shoe. If the weather's not great, the grip's not great on like exposed concrete, which there aren't many shoes that are good there. But it doesn't do bad on wet pavement. It's not too bad there, or on wet concrete that's finished. That's actually pretty decent surface. So to me, I think Nike is going to turn around. I honestly, the stock price peaked in 2021 around 176, close to $180 per share. It's down to around 76, 77 right now at the time of this recording. And they've got the new CEO. He said the right things. I think they're going to start concentrating on their base businesses. To me, they've had some issues, like even on their basketball front, because the guys that they've backed haven't really delivered. Their top tier guys. The last guy that won an MVP, that won a championship, was Giannis. Jokic has a different brand. Curry's with Under Armour. Jokic is with 360, which I'm not even sure what that company is, but he's not a Nike guy. Obviously, you have LeBron still, who's a Nike guy, and he's kind of special. But they did something different. Like Luka is in Jordan brand, and to me, that was kind of cool when Chris Paul first did it. I don't know if he was the first one to it, but he was one of the early adopters of being in that Jordan brand category. And it gets confusing the more top tier basketball players you have wearing Jordan shoes, because it's like, I want the Luka Jordans, and it's like the Luka Doncic shoes or Jordans or, it's confusing sounding. So I think what would help Nike out is if they just gave their top basketball players their own Nike shoe, like put the swoosh on it. Let Jordans be Jordans. Don't try to combine them with Westbrook, Tatum, Luka. Like, let those guys have their own shoe. It was cool when CP3 and Carmelo kind of did it, but it's confusing, and I don't think it's the best option for them, honestly. I'd also like to see Nike get into pickleball. I think that would be a massive boon to their bottom line, because there's a lot of space for pickleball is going to grow by about $5 to $6 billion over the next 8 years for consumers, just people picking up equipment, shoes. They already have tennis shoes. Andre Agassi is a big name, win $1 million tournaments. It's like, just like, let him be your sponsor. Like, put him in that space. Like, even if it's not, the top tier guy, even if it's not, Ben Johns or Anna Lee Waters, like you have a guy that played tennis that's playing pickleball now at a high level that gets exposure, like, put him out there, put him in his Nikes, like, sell those shoes. But I think they're moving the right way. So to me, I think right now there's a brief window where you might be able to get shoes like this that were originally pretty high priced. You can get them at a really decent price because of the inventory issues that they've had, that they're still trying to work their way out of. Once they work their way out of that, though, which I think will probably be later in 2025, probably won't get that same break on price once they figure all that stuff out. So right now, I'm optimistic on Nike. Like I said, the quality for me, the shoes that I've had have been good. They've been really good. Like, I can't say anything bad about the quality of the shoe. It's just the technology in the shoe has been good. I think it's just been overpriced when it originally came out. So if you can hit it, if you can find them, try them on, give them a shot. I think it's worth a look. All right, that's all I've got for today. Thanks for sticking in till the end. See you later. Bye.